Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Naathan Phan's online open mic. I am your host, Naathan Phan, and happy International Women's Day to you all. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day so far, and yeah, we're going to have some fun and have some people performing some pieces of theirs of varying degrees. We're going to get things started off with me. Our first sign-up isn't until 7:15, so I'm going to start off with something perhaps ill-advised. I'm going to read a selection from the novel that I'm writing, which is from the main protagonist is a female character, and so I thought this would be a good chance for it. So I'm going to read you a section of my book called A Little Thief. This is from chapter 2, but you don't really need to know much other than the fact that the main character, her name is Alice. She is a professional thief, and she's just been hired to steal a painting. But first, before she does that, she has an errand to run now that she has a bit of cash. So here is a selection of A Little Thief. Chapter 2. I settled my tab with Duchess, threw in her normal fee for my office space, and started to leg it downtown to a little nightclub called The Mushroom. The proprietor claimed he named it that because it was so packed every night that there never seemed to be mushroom inside, but all the patrons were fairly sure it was because he must have had a fondness for a certain psychedelic back in the 1960s. I started to hear loud, pulsating music, and I knew I was nearing my destination. I reached into my pocket and turned off my phone as I rounded the corner. I was unsurprised to see a line of people, some my age, and some who appeared a suspicious number of years younger than me, stretching half the block, all the way up to a neon sign of a blue caterpillar sitting atop a yellow mushroom. I walked straight up to the bouncer, a familiar-looking mountain of muscle. "Hey, is the doc in?" The bald behemoth grunted and locked his stern eyes on mine. "I'm sorry, but we don't allow minors in here, little girl." I stared back. Finally, a smile broke out on his face. I returned the smile and we engaged in a semi-secret handshake. "Haven't seen you around here in a while. Everything okay?" "Yeah, just haven't had the means to visit. But that changed today." "Get it, girl? Good money?" "Let's just say that if this were a movie, this would be the part where I'd flash the cash and fan myself with it. But we both know that'd be a terrible idea in this neck of the woods. But rest assured, it's enough to fan myself with." We bumped hips, which, with his mass, nearly sent me flying into the street. "Phone off?" he asked as a formality. "Yep. Head on in," he said with a jerk of his head. "Thanks, Dee," I chirped. Dee unhooked a velvet rope from a stanchion and let me walk through, which garnered protests from everyone in line. I responded to the mass's cries of indignation with a single finger. I'll let you guess which one. I looked up and saw the smirk on Dee's face. Other than the ability to show any expression whatsoever, Dee really was the spitting image of his twin brother, whom I had just left at Duchess's diner. "By the way, your brother says hi." Well, it was really more of a but I'm like 50% sure it was a hi. That or he was asking me out. This garnered a single guffaw from the Leviathan. I was about to walk away, but I hesitated for a moment before leaning into Dee and offering in a soft tone, "You really should reach out to him. I know you two aren't on the best terms right now, but life is too short to stay mad for stupid reasons. Take it from someone who knows." Dee didn't say anything, but I watched him take a small breath and release it, something I'd seen Dumb do on many occasions. I knew what it meant. I decided to leave it at that and start to walk down the stairs towards the red lights and music. Behind me, that's what changed. Behind me, I could just barely hear someone in line shout, "Yo, Dee, I know your brother too!" To which Dee replied, "Shut your fool mouth before I shut it for you." I laughed and pushed open the door, allowing a wave of heat, noise, and excitement to wash over me. Ugh, I hate this place. I made my way through the undulating crowd, moving as though one, like a school of fish about to be gobbled up by whales, and eventually found the bathroom door by the emergency exit. I ignored the sign that clearly indicated that it was out of order and turned the doorknob that someone had drawn a face onto long ago and nobody ever bothered to scrub off. After sneaking a precautionary look around to make sure no one was looking, I pushed it open, walked in, and promptly shut the door behind me. A hallway that seemed too long to exist considering the size of the building, adorned with a row of lamps hanging from the ceiling, stretched out before me. I pulled a small golden antique-looking key from my bag as I walked up the fourth door on the right. I placed the key in the keyhole and turned it to the left 3 times in quick succession. I removed the key, replaced it in my backpack, and waited. I didn't have to wait long before a small door located just above my head in the full-size door opened up and a pair of eyes appeared, scanning the hallway. I cleared my throat. The eyes looked down and spotted me. A somewhat gruff voice said, "Password." "How doth the little crocodile?" I answered assuredly. "Nope, sorry." The little door shut. "What? God damn it." I knocked again. The little door opened again. "What do you mean that's not the password?" "I mean that's not the password." "Shit. Okay, hold on. How doth the... Fuck. Nope, that's not it either." The little door shut. "Motherfuck!" I grunted as I dug my middle fingers into my temples, as if that would somehow magically help me unlock the brain cells currently imprisoning the information that I needed. Somehow, it worked. "How doth the little busy bee?" The little door opened. "How the fuck did you confuse crocodile with busy bee?" "I don't know. Would you just..." The lower half of the door opened, and I crawled under the fake top half of the door that was actually a solid piece of metal which had been built into the walls in case anyone ever tried to kick it in from doorknob level. The dock sure had some crazy security measures. Between that and the optical illusion hallway, I couldn't tell if she was paranoid or a genius. I guess the two aren't mutually exclusive. "Who are you?" A Mexican-accented woman's voice boomed from a small cloud of smoke in the corner of the room. I looked past a half-dozen individuals in blue lab coats and light pink gloves and shoe covers to find Dr. Catalina Pilar making her way over to me in her wheelchair, a vape unit in her lap. "I know you can't be Alice Little. She was supposed to come in over a week ago to refill her prescription, and she knows better than to run out of meds, so this must be somebody who looks remarkably like her." She wheeled right up to me and stopped. I smiled and gave her a hug, which I guess I needed more than I thought because I found myself holding on for far longer than I had anticipated. I'd been slowly shrinking since I ran out of meds, and I never seemed to notice until I remembered what it's like to be normal-sized again. "How long have you been out?" Doc asked empathetically without breaking the embrace. "It's only been a few days. Sorry, Doc," I started. I didn't have the scratch to afford my scripts. "You know I would have taken care of you if you told me, right?" "Yeah, but I got this stupid condition." "Right, Pridus Maximus." I finally released her from my iron grip, and she reciprocated. "How's quitting smoking going?" I asked her. "Ugh," she emitted, throwing in the uvular fricative for emphasis that many non-native English speakers seem to be so good at. "Ask me no questions, and I shall tell you no lies. This mierda is no replacement for a proper cigarette." She fumed quietly to herself for a moment before looking at me. "Proud of you," I offered meekly in a sing-songy tone to help lighten the mood. She replied with a tired smile. "So, same as usual, anything we need to tweak?" "Nah, it's all been working out great. I've been having a little extra trouble sleeping lately, but I'm pretty sure that, doesn't have anything to do with the meds." Doc nodded in understanding. "So, just the anti-anxiety, mood stabilizers, and antipsychotics then, same doses." She snapped her fingers, and several pairs of pink hands quickly got to work removing pills from various sources and putting them into orange bottles with very realistic-looking official labels on them. "If you need something to help you sleep, let me know immediatamente. You know how important it is for you." "Thanks, Doc, but I can barely afford these." I handed her the appropriate amount of cash, leaving me with, if math served me correctly, just enough for rent, groceries, another month on my Metro card, and a few job-related expenses. "I know, but you've been part of the familia for a while now, and cuando llegan los problemas, tu familia es la que te apoya. When trouble comes, it's your family that supports you," I finished. Doc smiled kindly as she extended the hand containing the money over her shoulder. Another gloved hand attached to a lab coat took the bills from her and set 3 pill bottles in their place, which she handed to me. "Your password for next time is you are old Father William." I sighed. Apparently I was making a strange face too because the doc asked, "How do you feel?" "A little small. Shadows were trying to talk to me earlier. Nothing too serious. I think if I hadn't come in tonight, though, tomorrow would have been rough." "Can I..." I held up the bottles, shaking them a little. Doc nodded. She snapped her fingers, and 2 separate hands reached out, one holding a small bottle of water, the other offering juice. I reached out, grabbed the juice, and the water disappeared as quickly as it had appeared. 2 more pairs of hands took 2 of the medicine bottles away from me. They deftly opened them, dumped out a single pill apiece, and closed the bottles without effort. I took the yellow and red pill and tossed them into my mouth. I cracked open the mini bottle and took a swig. Meh, cran apple. Whatever. With any luck, I'd be feeling full-sized again by tomorrow night. I realize that shrinking and growing is a strange analogy, but it's really the best way I can explain how being bipolar feels. Well, for me, at least. When I'm having a depressive episode, I feel tiny, like a few inches tall. Like, I don't matter, and nothing I do can affect anything or anybody, least of all myself. I'm practically invisible, and somebody could probably step on me and not even notice. Sometimes I'm not even upset at being small. I'm just tired of it and don't feel like doing anything until it goes away, including basic human things like eating and showering. Yeah, it sucks even more than it sounds, because sometimes you can't tell you're shrinking. It just happens, believe it or not. It's even worse, though, when you can feel it and see yourself shrinking and there's just nothing you can do about it. If you've got the right kind of friends and support system, it can help. They don't try to change your size, they just accept it as fact. They don't try to tell you that you should change your diet or exercise more and that'll help because it's all in your head. Well, no shit, it's all in my head. That's the definition of a mental disorder. Even when I can recognize I've got no real external reasons to be depressed, doesn't mean I can turn it off. Let's say your partner cheats on you. You still have your health, friends, a place to live, money in the bank. That doesn't mean you can't feel like shit until you just don't anymore. But true friends, they know that all they can do is sit down next to you or walk beside you and help you not fall down holes. Sometimes they'll carry you because they know you appreciate the fresh air or change of scenery. But only if you let them, of course. Manic episodes, on the other hand, are in-fucking-credible. You feel like a giant, like you're unstoppable, like you can do anything. You can see everything so clearly from all the way up there and know what needs to be done, and everything's just effortless. But you know what they say. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. There you are, folks. There is a... hello, Bill, and thanks for tuning in, Erring Pigeon, as well. What are my thoughts on beef jerky? You know what? That is a discussion for another time, because I have lots of thoughts about beef jerky. That was an excerpt from the novel that I'm writing. That is part of Chapter 2. That is, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Alice is, a professional thief who is bipolar, and Perry, we will see. Perry's backstage saying, I hope the crowd is ready for this. We'll find out. I mean, I just dropped a couple of F-bombs, so I mean, we're off to the races today. Here we are. So next up, we have, we've got a wonderful act here entitled Laughter is the Best Medicine, and also a very special Spanish exercise that is dedicated to the McDonald's. We've got Lee Flute. Here we go. I'm adding you to the stream. Give me a little thumbs up. Hello. How are you? Oh, hold on. Unmute. There you are. You're unmuted now. Hello. How are you?
Yes. Awesome, Nathan.
All right. Go ahead.
So great to see you, Nathan.
Yeah, great to see you.
I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Nathan, because Nathan knows dedication today is about an 86-year young, amazing, wonderful person who brought happiness into her life during COVID. We're dedicating this short Spanish nursery rhyme named Pimpón es un muñeco, meaning a doll is named Pimpón. This is a story of how Janet McDonald brought life back into herself during the COVID-19 time, okay? Besides creative parties for kids moments, we did have lots of creative parties for kids. We'll get to that in a minute. But we want to show you the Pimpón es un muñeco little nursery rhyme that we offered during a laughter yoga. Laughter yoga, what is that? During a laughter yoga healing.
Pimpón es un muñeco muy guapo de cartón. Se lava su manita con agua y jabón. Se desempeña con peine de marfil. Y aunque se hace tirones, todo le hace así.
Now, does everybody see that? This is a very, very famous song in Mexico. When I was a little young gal, my mom would sing that to me every night because I'm half Mexican. But I want you to know what laughter yoga is. This is directly from my certification almost 2 decades ago. Laughter yoga, everyone, is a unique exercise which combines unconditional laughter and yogic breathing, pranayama. Anyone can laugh without relying on humor, jokes, or comedy in this way to get yourself out of moods. Now, I want you to know this. This is the time that it is women's time. And thank you, Nathan, for dedicating to that. So strong is the new pretty. We love you, Nathan, because you're strong person. We watch you almost every week.
Oh, thank you.
You bring joy to us, okay? That's just the
Thank
bottom
you.
line. And if you guys know, Nathan and I worked together during the holidays, and we brought lots of joy to many.
We did. We were elves together
Yes.
in Huntington Beach. It was a wild time. Absolutely.
Okay. During COVID, in the middle of COVID, I mean, we were sanitizing everywhere.
We were taking temperature checks and sanitizing and making sure people wore masks. It was yeah.
That's right. So, Amy, I wanted to share that nursery rhyme because we are at 4 minutes now, I believe, and it's because there are 86-year young people out there, elders that need to hear these fun, strong, like these womanly, nurturing, rhymes. Okay, and Nathan, your novel being so catching, I really loved the novel that you just shared just now. Even reading that aloud to Janet McDonald, she would love it. Okay, this is what Eugene, our dear friend, has me doing with laughter yoga. So if you want to get certified with me, I can certify even 86-year young, amazing people. I've been doing this for 2 decades from Laguna Beach. Let me show you. Yes, it's actually called the Laughter University. Yes, there is such a thing, and you can get a certification within 2 days. Okay, I love you guys. I want you to know, Laguna, it's free. Laguna Laughter brings in liberty and joy. So don't forget your elders. And I love you, Nathan.
Love you too. Thank you so much. Bye. All right, everyone. There's Lee. Thank you so much for that, Lee. A wonderful little performance. Thank you for that. All right. We have here, I believe he's here. Yes, Perry has arrived. Perry, are you ready? Give me a little thumbs up if you're ready. If not, that's fine. I can stall for a couple moments. I can't tell if that's a thumb or a finger being held up saying wait. Hold on. That's a thumb. There we are. Excellent. Oh, there we go. Hello, Perry.
Hey.
Everyone, this is a fantastic comedian named Perry Kurtz. You ready to go?
I am ready. Let's kick this thing up.
All right, here we go. Perry, take it away.
Well, it's good to be here, and I appreciate her talking about elders. I'm not 86, but I am 70. I turned 70 on February 5th. I'm 70, and I have all my hair. And young people are always saying the same thing. Wow, because you're still dark. And they go, do you darken your hair? Yeah, I darken it, and then I spray the gray back into it. Yeah, that's what's going on. It's a multicolor. Hold on. Let me throw an extra light on the background because it's blinking, and you want to make sure that you're not blinking. So I'm 70 years old. I am going through some difficulties. I've got liver cancer and I've been getting a lot of radiation, but I've had some interesting experiences because the way they do it is they put this jacket on you and they roll you into the MRI, and the jacket reads the radiation and it tells the machine where to aim it because it's in the liver. So it's got to get around the rib cage and past the lungs to get to it. And the first time I got pulled out, it was a very attractive Hispanic woman with long, thick hair, and her hair was hanging down on my arm as she pulled me out. And I couldn't help it, but I looked over and I was looking down her top. And she actually said, "Are you looking at my tits?" And I said, "Well, the tits are the gateways to the eyes." And she laughed and she said, "Oh, you're the comedian. I heard about you. All right, well, this is going to be fun." The next time she pulls me out, I guess it was warm. She unbuttoned one more button. The third time she pulls me out, she's leaning over my head, pulling it out from the end and leaning over, and her boobs are right over my eyes. And I went, "Hello." And she goes, "Don't you touch anything." And so she said, "All right, go get dressed." So I go into the little curtained off area, which is a dressing room, and I take off my gown and my vest. And just as I'm standing there completely naked, she opens the curtain. She goes, "By the way," she goes, "Oh," and she points out, she goes, "Oh, well, I see that's still working." And she says, "Listen, before you leave, give me your Instagram." So there are some benefits. The other thing is I'm getting proton treatment, which is a very fine radiation. It doesn't affect the surrounding areas. And the doctors are thrilled because my tumor in 3.5 weeks has shrunk over 55%. And they said that if it shrunk 10 to 15, they'd be happy. And they said, "Well, why do you think it's happening?" Because see, the way it works is the radiation burns up the tumor. And then the liver regenerates and fills that space. And I said, well, what's going on? He says, well, your brain's really fast. We did an EKG, and your brain works like a 20-year-old. And I said, well, that would make sense. He said, what do you do? I said, I'm a comedian. He goes, oh, that makes a lot of sense. He said, how often do you get sick? I said, once every 3. He says, you're going to do fine. So I feel good. I'm all right. I can't, look at me, I'm 70. I can't even wrinkle my forehead if I try. I'm in good shape. I can still dance. I can still pop and kick. And I'm alive, and that's what really matters. And how about a round of applause for your host, the lovely Nathan? Let's hear it for Nathan. I'm assuming there's applause. And it's so nice that he dresses up for this show. I mean, he looks professional. You know, the word pedo doesn't even come to mind. He's a nice guy. And somebody told me they think he looks like a gynecologist. And he has that look. Plus, he has really small hands. So that's important. So I'm doing good. I'm alive. I've also got my second vaccine. I had to go out to Dodgers Stadium, and the way it works, you get in the line and you drive, you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and there were 29 levels that I went through. And then I'm going over the hill, I'm going, this is great, I'm almost there. And then there's another 25 levels to go through, and then finally you pull into 9 lines. And you ever go to the market and you see there's all these lines of people and one line looks empty? You go, I'll jump in there. I jumped in that one and every other line moved. And I'm sitting there and I kept falling asleep. I was in my car for an hour and a quarter and I fell asleep. And every time somebody would wake me up, I said to them, hey, while I'm here, can I get a colonoscopy? And they all just thought that was hysterical. And then one comes back and goes, hey, are you really a comedian? Yes, I am. And she says, well, listen, my name's Deborah. Well, I'd like to see you. Do you have an Instagram? So I gave her my Instagram and I said, can I get a colonoscopy? And she goes, well, I got tiny hands. I guess we could do that. So they were all very nice. They gave me the vaccine. And that was last Saturday. And I did have a side effect. I was dizzy and I was really, really swollen up. But because of the swelling, I was able to find my penis. That made it a lot easier. Actually, it was my arm. My arm was really swollen up, and I'm finally getting some sleep. But I feel good. I'm healthy. I'm alive, you know. And as the last lady was talking about the elders, I've been making my money for the past 16 years until COVID hit, entertaining seniors. And money's great. Took a while. First 4 shows were not good. You have no idea what it's like to have a 93-year-old guy stand up in the back of the room and go, you really suck. Takes the wind out of your sails. But now I've learned to talk to them, and what I do is, all right, who's from out of town, who's the oldest, and they're very outspoken. One of the things they love to talk about is birthdays. So I say, who's got a birthday last month, this month, or next month? Lady goes, I do, and this is in a nursing home. It's all women in a little room. They're all in wheelchairs. And I go, what's your name? She goes, Ida. I go, Ida, it's your birthday? She says, yes, it is. I said, where are you from? She goes, Chicago. I went, Chicago? She goes, yes. I said, so how old are you? She goes, I'm 106. And all the other women start laughing. And they all look at me and I go, you know why you guys are laughing? Because you're surprised she knew how old she was. Because when you get old, you forget things like your name, where you're going. And I don't know if anybody's getting to this point where you walk in a room and you go in there and you go, what did I come in here for? That's very common. Plus, seniors forget things. They have what they call a senior moment. It's actually information overload. They have so much information in their head, it gets discombobulated. But the seniors are very active, very active. STDs are rampant in the senior homes. And I had one couple in the back of the room, they were making out. They didn't have their teeth in. All you could hear was... And I said, hey, you guys back there, can you calm down? What are you teenagers? He goes, leave us alone. I said, well, you guys, you know, you're making out and it's kind of destroying my energy up here. He says, so what? And I said, are you guys in love? And he puts his hand on her neck and he looks at her and goes, love? Nah, we're just fucking. And they are. And that's the thing. So what I have learned from the seniors is that sometimes life will twist you up. It'll kick you. It'll knock you down. It'll step on you. But never give up. Never give up. Never give up the ship. Like myself, I've been very fortunate. I wrote for The Tonight Show and got to hug Jay online. And over here on this side, got me and Robin Williams. That's me in the middle. And Dana Carvey. I've been on many TV shows. I've been very fortunate, but it's because I've never given up. And entertainment is not an easy field. There are so many comedians out there. Everybody's a comedian. And I started when I was 10 years old. My father was going to smack my younger brother, and I was used to him hitting me, which is why I look like this. And he said, "Do I have to take off my belt?" And I said, "I'd like that. It's smaller than your hand." And he laughed, and he walked out of the room. And I said, "This stuff works." And I just started being funny. And I found that people like funny people. You can make a joke. Somebody walks up to you and you say, like, you got the shirt, you go, "I got a blue flowered shirt just like that at home." Even if you don't, they go, "Oh, really?" Or somebody's on the phone and they're eating. "What are you eating?" A chicken sandwich. All you have to do is relate to them. And they laugh. "You're leaving the market. It's late at night. You know they're going to leave. I'll bet you're ready to go home." "Yes, I am. Thank you very much." But I have noticed things are different. Right now, I don't know if you're aware, in the Deep South, there's a lot of inbreeding going on. And I'm sure you're all aware of the pages called OnlyFans. Well, in the Deep South, they don't have OnlyFans. They don't have Tinder. They have OnlyFamily. The laughter is deafening. So I'm hoping you guys are all doing good. If you are going to have sex, be careful because they still don't know what's going on. Use condoms. I believe in them completely. I'm wearing one right now. Kind of fun because when I walk, it slides up and down and it feels like I'm never alone. Now you can get condoms with ribs. I think that's great because I'm always hungry after sex. The sauce is a little runny. But otherwise, I'm Perry Kurtz. Help me out. I haven't worked since last March, and I got a family to support. So you can donate at Perry Kurtz on Venmo or at perrykurtz@gmail on PayPal. Help me and my family out. You guys are great. One more time, thank you, Nathan, for having me. He's a great guy. I don't care what anybody says.
Everyone, there is Perry. Thank you so much, Perry, for joining us. Good night, sir. There is Perry, everyone, bringing us some comedy, some levity in these very strange and unusual times. Excellent. Next up, we've got a great mate of mine, a writer as well. We've got David. Give me a thumbs up, David, if you're ready to come in and join. Let's see, there it is. Hey, David, how are you?
I am reasonably well. How's yourself, Nathan?
I'm doing pretty darn well. Yeah. Just feeling a little loosey-goosey, enjoying a scotch on a basically
That's
empty
good.
stomach. So yeah, absolutely, I'm ready. So you have some stuff for us, yes?
Sure. Yeah. Let's read
Here
some
we go.
stuff.
Excellent.
All right.
Here
This
we go.
first one
Here
is entitled.
David.
Hopefully, I can be forgiven for that. I bring sense of smoke and alder. He colorless waits, determined dreamer. I am bird-quick precision mover, while he head-heavy overthinker. He says I am a creature of fantasy. Looks like he's lost in lies to me. Lies of what is how it has to be, when it does not. He stinks of dead things and of men. What's the difference again? But I think he's trying not to, and I respect that, or I want to. Scale and fur and feather, we would be animals together. And it could be as real as drumming blood can feel. I want to hunt and fuck and run, bite the throat out of the sun, feel the night upon my skin, breathe in secret pollen, tongue flowers and fresh wounds, spread myself for the moon. And he can come with me, heavy, stiff, and clumsy, but maybe he could teach me how to kiss without using my teeth. Like pine cones fallen among stones, like bears gnawing barren bones, like the hawk who flies through 30 skies but has no nest to call their own. Like the furthest flower in the desert with no sheltering shade for home, there are in the end hard limits on what we can do alone. And I would be a whole forest, I would be lushly overgrown. So come, man, let us see what wilderness we can make. Okay. And I think I got one more that'll fit in under 5 minutes. This one's called Of Maybes, and I wrote this back in 2017 when the song was a bit more contemporary, but hopefully the reference doesn't completely fall flat now. So, this empty calorie pop song, oral sugar, trifling teenage piffle on the sound system of the sandwich store, and I'm singing quietly along because, yeah, of course I do know this one. The guy behind the counter, as he makes a steak and cheese, whistles a phrase. The guy sitting behind me, in a comic falsetto to his girlfriend, sings a line. Everybody knows this one. And this is as close as I have ever come to one of those movie musical moments where everyone spontaneously breaks into song. And I want to stand up from my chair, throw my arms into the air, and sing to make heaven shake about how I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. And everyone will join me. And without practicing spontaneously, we will all have perfect choreography. Or hell, it won't even matter if we're sloppy. That'll just add to the comedy. And some girl will fall in love with me because that's what happens in fantasies. I get a fourth of the way out of my seat and then sit back down. And then mumble sing through the last verse. This is not a movie. This is not some scene where we are free to spontaneously share the intimacy and ecstasy of song. This is instead the universe where you need to be afraid and ashamed to sing with strangers. This is the reality where no girl is just waiting for your song to love you, not even if the obverse is true. And my God, it doesn't matter that the song is dumb. We could be extraordinary, unexpected, sisters, brothers. We could have something with one another, my God, but we could seize a moment of joy. But it's hard to look right at you, baby, so we look away. I pick up my pen and start to silently write. That is permitted, not too unnormative, unpresumptive of sharing some portion of soul with others. Maybe I can even cry a little, if I'm quiet about it, if I veil my face with a paper napkin and I don't let anybody see me. Let's share something special that we'll remember for the rest of our lives, shall we? Or not? Hey, I just met you, and let's be sane and not do anything about that. All right. Thank you very much, Nathan. Thank you all.
You are so welcome. Oh boy, last piece. If you want to see more of David's stuff, go to Instagram. It's at David_Kammerzelt_writes_stuff. And you can check out more of his poetry and writings and things like that. That last piece, I really like that. That resonates with me a lot. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me want to not hum quietly to myself in public next time. Like, if I'm going to sing, I might as well just sing, right? Like, it makes me want to...
Right, exactly.
Like, I want to start carrying either a really...
Might as well sing.
I know. I want to start carrying, like, a Bluetooth speaker in me or some sort of, like, a radio jammer that I can take over any intercom. Like, how awesome would it be if you had something that could instantly override any kind of intercom system you're on, and I could pump in music and start dancing down the aisle of, like, Total Wine and More while singing, I love you, baby, and just have everyone, like, is this a flash mob with one person? What is happening?
More one-person flash mobs. I think that's what the world needs. I genuinely do.
We need them. There's David, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, David.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So hold on a second. What time is it? It is time for Jess, I believe. All right. So we have. I tried to get as many of my female friends, because it is International Women's Day. I wanted to get some women in here. So we got Lee. We also have coming up Jess. And then hopefully we'll also have my friend Lucia coming up in a bit. And luckily, a lot of my friends are so wonderfully talented that they don't have time to come and perform on some rinky-dink little open mic thing. But hopefully in the very, very near future. It's not like I'm against women performing on a regular basis, but... we have a very special guest. So Jess here, it comes to us all the way from Donegal, Ireland, and won Magician of the Year in Ireland just a couple of years ago now. So here is Jess. Do you want me to play the music? Nod. Or Spud thing. Hold on a second.
First, I'm going to juggle potatoes.
All right.
Hello.
Juggle potatoes first. Here we
Yeah,
go.
I have to give the people what they want. There you go. There's an Irish person badly juggling potatoes. You're welcome.
There it is. All right, you ready?
Yep, sure am.
Here comes some music.
That's all I'm gonna do because it's like almost 4 a.m.
That's absolutely fine. What was it? All right. There's Jess, everyone. Thanks, Jess. All right. Okay. There's that. Will no fade out music. These shows are always so very, very interesting. I love getting all of these phenomenally talented people. Let's see. Squeaky Futons, if you're ready, give me a thumbs up. I see. Excellent. Hello, Squeaky. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Try now. I think.
Hello.
Hello. All right. You all ready to go?
Yeah.
Thanks for waiting so patiently, everyone. Here are the Squeaky Futons.
True story. You are just like Dorian Gray. You are beautiful even though your photographs have aged. I was young and so I was dumb. Dozen roses in a vase in your living room, where we'd watch awful movies, wonderful movies that I would ruin. I was young and I didn't know you and I were young. Rocky Horror Picture Show. This is not what it feels like to fall in love. This is not what it feels like to fall in love. If I saw you, would you even apologize? If I saw you, would I recognize you with my own two eyes? I I am older. Did I hurt you? I'm getting colder. You are older. That's all I have. This is a place. Older. This is not what it feels like to fall in love. This is not what it feels like to fall in love. Old photographs and awkward laughs. This is not. This is not love. This is not love. It's still cold in Santa Monica. It's still cold.
There, Squeaky Futons, everyone, performing some original music. There is, to learn more about them, go to dhpgastelum.com. Is that the right website?
Yes, you could also go to FilipinoRyanGosling.com. It'll redirect you to, yeah.
There is, everyone, Squeaky Futons. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. So we're waiting on my friend Lucia to see if she'll be able to come and join us. In the meantime, I'll do a quick thing, and if she's not here by then we'll close the show. I have this brand new piece. I've only ever done it for 2 audiences ever, but this is a new idea for it. So here it is. I want you all to do me a favor. If you're out there watching, feel free to help out in the comments if you'd like. I'm going to teach you all a magic trick using this tiny bag and a piece of fruit. Okay, so here's what you do. You go up to someone and you say, hey, I want you to think of a fruit, okay? In fact, here, I'm going to bring in David really quickly for this. David, can I bring you in for this really quickly? All you got to do is just say something. Yeah, okay, excellent. Hi, David. All right, excellent. So here's what's going to happen.
Hello.
David, I want you to imagine that you've come home and there's a bowl of fruit, assorted fruit on the table, and you're going to grab one to snack on. So you're just going to grab a piece of fruit, and you're going to take a bite out of it to kind of enjoy as a snack. What piece of fruit are you enjoying, David?
An orange.
An orange! So, if I were to reach inside this bag right now and pull out an orange, that'd be a great trick, right?
That would be pretty impressive.
Pretty solid, right? Inside the bag, I have an orange! Look at that! Isn't that great?
Hey.
An orange! Hey, pretty good, right? Okay, and now I'm going to teach you all how this works, all right? So what you do, the secret is that they always say orange. When you ask someone to snack on something, they just always say orange. Yeah. So all you do is you get a bag, you cut it so it's nice and short. They know there's not a bunch in there, and you have an orange, and you put it in there, and then you start the thing, and you ask them to think. Imagine there's a bowl of fruit, and they always say orange, and so you reach in and you pull out the orange. Amazing, amazing. Okay, they don't actually always say orange. Sometimes, in fact, they do say apple. And if they say apple, then all you have to do is make sure that inside the bag you have an apple. So make sure you have an apple inside the bag as well. And then that way, in case they say apple as well, then you're absolutely covered. Now, sometimes people try to catch you out, and they try to think of something that isn't really a snack food. And so sometimes they will say, instead of like an apple and orange, they'll say like a lemon, in which case just make sure you have a lemon in there as well. Just keep the lemon in there, and then that way you'll be covered in case they say a lemon as well. Sometimes people don't really think of the bite thing, and they try to go for something a little bit different, in which case they don't even name one of those things, and in fact they'll instead think of something like a banana. And if that's the case, just make sure you always have a banana in there as well, and then you'll be completely covered. Or worst case scenario, some people really trying to catch you out, and they want to do something truly different and weird, and in which case they will name like a cantaloupe or something, in which case just keep a cantaloupe in the bag, and then you'll be completely covered no matter what. And there is a magic trick for you all. Thank you very much. There it is.
Thank you.
There it is. Thank you. All right, excellent. We have, I'm just realizing I should have done me big picture and David smaller picture. That's fine. There is a brand new thing, and I have all this fruit laying out here now. But at least I now have an orange. Cut off a bit of the rind for my old fashioned. Good. Excellent. We have Lucia who has joined us. Excellent. Hello, Lucia. If you're ready, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you're ready. Excellent. Hello, Lucia.
Hi, Face.
Hello. All right. Are you ready to read us a little something?
Yes. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. I was going to share something that I'd already written, and then I decided, no, I'm going to write something specifically for International Women's Day, so that's what I did.
You actually sat down, like, in the hour you had, like, since I contacted you to come do the thing, you wrote something.
Yeah.
Way to make the rest of us writers feel bad. Thanks a lot.
I haven't read it over yet, so, I mean, be kind.
Absolutely, we will be. All right, go ahead and take it away, Lucia.
Okay, well, so I wanted to write about women specifically. When I think about women, I think about strong women. I think about the women in my family, and specifically something that came to mind was quilts, which are things that my grandma has made for years and years, and it's like a time-honored family tradition. And there used to be women would get together for quilting bees, they were called, and they would come together with scraps of fabric, and they would make something really beautiful from the scraps that they had for one particular person. Maybe it was for a wedding or for the celebration of a new child, but it was something that they would all work on together. So I was kind of inspired by that, and I wanted to write about the scraps that we get as women, even now, still. So this is called 364 Squares. In times long past, we would gather for one day to commune and work our magic. Even on the days set aside to rest, we would clean and feed and nurture our own, our cooking scenting the air and filling hungry bellies, our homes providing shelter and our hearts giving what our pocketbooks could not. But in days before, we would sit in a circle, our voices and laughter drawing us together as tightly as the stitches we made, as we sat making a prize destined for only one. Our task was this, to make something beautiful from all we had to give, and that is a skill that we have always possessed. We took the scraps from tables and made them into feasts. We took the scraps of rights that we should have always had whole and made do with those scraps, as we have always done. We had to. It was expected. We would make clothing for our families and linens for our homes, our fingers pricking on needles and our eyes straining to make stitches so small you could not see them. Stitches made small so they would draw no notice. This too we knew how to do. We had to. It was expected. On our one day, we would encircle an expanse of fabric, destined to be cherished, destined to be loved, as we wished to be cherished and loved. This task we would do together, making a gift for the chosen out of bright scraps of fabric, tattered and torn, which we would imbue with our special power, our special artistry, our special strength. As it was before, so it is now. On our one day, we work when we need our rest. We give when we need to receive. We create beauty out of what little we are given. We, together, make magic and beauty, as we have always done, encircling the world to make a blanket we can all shelter under, woven from broken promises, hardships, and struggles that only we know. We sing, we laugh, we piece together a quilt of 364 squares around the one square we are gifted. We are not grateful, but we will work together and sing and laugh and sew and make. We are weavers, we are workers, we are women.
There is Lucia, everyone, reading an original piece she just wrote in honor of International Women's Day and was so kind and gracious enough to read for us out loud now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're very, very welcome. Hope to have you back on another week as well. And I know you're working on a novel yourself, and there's plenty of other things that you've written that would be great for this. And you also have a newsletter out in your neck of the woods as well. Yes. What's it called again? The Progressive Mountain Review?
Oh, yes, it's a newspaper. I'm the editor-in-chief. We are a grassroots organization. We just got 501c3 nonprofit status this last year, and it's called Mountain Progressive Review.
I was so close. Mountain
So close.
Progressive Review. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can find. Is there a website for it?
Yes.
There is .org? Excellent.
Yes.
Hold on 1 second. I am going to just share that link really quickly so that other people, if they happen to live up in the name just went right out of my head. I'm so sorry.
San Bernardino Mountains.
So, thank you, San Bernardino Mountains. It has been one of those days. San Bernardino Mountains. If you live out in that area, here is something that's a little bit different from what most of the newspapers are out there. MountainProgressiveReview.org. Check them out. Editor-in-chief and great person, writer, and friend, Lucia, everyone. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, it has come. We're going to wrap things up then. Thanks so much for everyone to tuning in. And the last thing we're going to share with you is I've got this phenomenally talented friend named Brian Morales, who is a composer. And he's been bored out of his skull, and he's like, Nathan, give me a project. And I'm like, you know what I would love is normally when I perform Nessun Dorma, I have this wonderful track that I use for Nessun Dorma, very professionally recorded. However, because somebody else recorded that, it does belong to those people. So technically, if I use that in a video or something like that, they can be like, hey, that's our track, yada yada. And so I told them, and which is a shame because Nessun Dorma is in the public domain. I'd love to be able to go on TV and perform and not worry about anyone saying this track doesn't belong to you, rights blocked or whatever. And so he sat down and he wrote me an accompaniment track himself. This I gave it a listen. It sounds great. So I wanted to try it out for you all now. A little Nessun Dorma for you all, and that's what we'll close on. And also, just to give you an idea of what I do for my virtual concerts. This is what I do. I just did my virtual concert for musical theater this past Saturday. I have another one coming up on April 3rd. It'll be a virtual concert and a magic show that shows change every single month. And what I do is I use virtual backgrounds and different lighting that exists in my room. I've got all these hue lights to set the mood and perform certain pieces. So I would like to do that for you all now with Nessun Dorma. Here we go. Nessun Dorma, Nessun Dorma. Tu pure, o principessa, nella tua fredda stanza guardi le stelle che tremano d'amore e di speranza. Ma il mio mistero è chiuso in te, il nome mio nessun saprà, no, sulla tua bocca quando la luce splenderà. Ed il mio faccio sciogliere il silenzio e ti fa mia. This is the part where the entire town is singing about how nobody's allowed to sleep. until they find out the name of this prince. And he hears him. Tile guidate, tramontata est lei, tramontata est lei, all'alba vincerò, vincerò, vincerò. There is, folks. That's how we're going to close. Once again, a huge thanks to my buddy Brian Morales for composing that track for me. I just, gave him notes like, oh, can you slow out this part a bit? Ooh, speed up this part. Absolutely fantastic composer, musical genius. Oh, thank you very much. Redlands Fireworks Showcase. Really nice control with the upper registers. Thank you. That top B note is way harder than mixing like a C for some odd reason. C's or D's, mixing them, no problem. Like that B, just below high C, so difficult. But it took me years, but I think it's getting there, finally. Anyways, thanks to everyone for being here. We've got Lee Flute and Petty Kurt, Squeaky Futons, Jessica Harkin, David Kammerzelt, Lucia and Ball. Did I miss somebody? I feel like I missed somebody. If I did, I'm so sorry. But this is Naathan Phan's online open mic. It's every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific. If you have a talent or something you'd like to share, learn more at magicasianman.com/open mic. It is a whole lot of fun, and it's a great way to try something out, see how something feels, dust off something that is you haven't done for a while, and to check out your technical setup and see how it reads and looks online. Until next week, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you then. End broadcast.